Hello, hello, hello. Happy Wednesday. Hope everybody's having a good day. We're halfway through the week. How's everybody doing today? Good to see all of you. Ellie, Kelly, Julie, Naomi with number 56, Stone Fox, Agent. Let me scroll on up. My heart goes out to him and his remaining family, Colby Ryan. Hey, Mrs. M. Diamonds are forever. Music City, Froggy, Cheryl, Lori, Candace, Shelly M, New Kid in Town, Desiree, Duar Diddy. My thing is not moving. It might be frozen. Hey, Desiree, all that glitters. Butter, Jinx, Bio, it's me, Amberly, Snippins, Marley, Lee the Bee, Electro, Pristine, Dr. Snowflakes, Grammy's Place with number 60. Good morning, good morning. Yeah, I was going to be late, Mimi, so I changed the time. So now I'm early. See how that works? Crazy, right, Nick? J. Cows. Who is Brandon Truck you? Scoos Baby, CJK. We are halfway through this week. The weather is so hot today. UV is high, and I have so much to do. I know, isn't that the truth, Music City? Hell, you blink and you've missed an hour. Oh, thank you, Mimi7. Good morning, Apple Bottom, WIS, Low Key, Turn and Leaves. So I obviously I saw this Amber Alert this morning. I want to share this all with you. It's pretty sad. Hey Tracy, Tiana, Reese Jam, Lucia with the 79, Sarah Q, Music City Mom, welcome back. Welcome back. YouTube, I'm sorry to see you're still dealing with the lawsuit bullshit. Thank you, Lisa. The Jennifer Tinkerbug. Yeah, it's unfortunate. They don't know when to stop. Good morning, the real Ama. Note to self. Julie's crafting. Hey, KNS. Yeah, I'll be interested. Hey, Amy. Proud Mimi. Jackie Blue. Lori Daybell's former nephew. She is charged with conspiracy for attempted murder. Lord bless it. Hey, Diana R. Buvmal, good morning. Tina. Hope you have a great day at work. They're all crazy, manic behavior. Exactly. I can't stand humidity. Ugh, I love it. I do too, Music City. It's ridiculous. The filings are ridiculous. The arguments ridiculous. All of it is so ridiculous. All that glitter. Sherry, good morning. Good morning. That detective yesterday was fine AF. Which detective? I missed it. Marley B, you haven't missed a dang thing, girl. Not a thing. Hey, Sarah Luna. Miss Liverbird. Good morning, Mars. It's stupid, straight talker. It's a stupid argument. But to be expected when dealing with the whole stupid filing. Hey, Young Wheezy. So, all right, let's jump into it. Sorry, every time I just think about this freaking stupid lawsuit, it just immediately brings my mood down. Like, it's just, ugh. Hey, Ellie. Belated Delco Day. We got the Delco Pooper. We got lots of things to be proud of in Delco. Hey, LaRue. World freaking peas. Good morning. My AC died in my apartment. Daughter and son-in-law are getting estimates so far. Yeah, I had the same issue, Lucia. Luckily, I found a local guy who was able to keep it semi-alive for a third the price. But it was ridiculous. New Kid in Town, hot here, 73. Now 101 high today. I love it. Titanium's getting her extensions. That's exciting. Hey, Gigi. Princess Gaga, good morning. All right, so let's start with this really quick before we get into all the nonsense. This Amber Alert came up, and I'll be honest, I don't have a good feeling. Something doesn't seem right for me, but what do I know? All right. Hey, Fred. Hey, Goody Two Shoes. Denise. Yoga Mama at the 133. Thank you. Let me pull this up. So this is a 3-year-old little girl Amber Alert is out right now. She's in Delaware. But y'all listen to this story and see if you hear what I hear. Hey, Sweet Toughness. Angel Dead Chips. Good morning. Wishful Thinking. Jackie Blue at the 142. Good morning, Cranky. Attached to their house. It affects their kitchen and dining room, too. It's horrible, Lucia. I feel for you. I'm so sorry. Yeah, two estimates came out and said mine was dead, too. A third one came out, and he was so kind. He was able to kind of resuscitate it, if you will. Not sure how long it will last, but again, it gives me time to save up. FSU girl, good morning, Caroline. Teresa Turner, Susan Lewis with the 143.
Following breaking news at this hour, chances are you may have seen the Amber Alert on your phone in Newcastle County.
All right, so this is the little girl, 3 years old.
A desperate search for this missing 3-year-old little girl right there, believed to be kidnapped at gunpoint.
So, Hank, the family, who was in the car when they're driving down, when they pull over? Were both the mother and the father in that car?
I don't know about the father. Well, police are very clear that the mother had pulled the car over to speak with the little girl, Nola, who was kidnapped.
So far, we have Nola, 3 years old, with her mother. They're driving, and the mother pulls over to speak with the little girl. This is in Delaware, yes. Speak with the little girl. Now, I don't know how many of you are mothers. It's dark, it's late, you have a 3-year-old. I know they get rambunctious, but I've never, ever pulled over at nighttime on a random, dark road, if you will, to yell at my child or talk with my child or whatever it may be. So, I don't know.
Father's the one that called it in. I'm not sure that he was in the car now. We hope to get further details from Newcastle police. But they got their hands full right now, guys. They've been dragging this net across Newcastle County all night long. I mean, take a look at the video. This was shot over the course of the last couple hours. Newcastle County police detectives swooping in on nearby Liberty Point apartment complex. Maybe 6 minutes from here where we are at county police headquarters, about 2 miles from where police say the little girl was taken. They were possibly following up on a lead. Greg Gilroy grabbing that video. They did not say much, did police, but were clear that they had not found the little girl in that search. And this is her, 3-year-old Nola Dinkins. Police say.
So the mother, pulls over, gets held at, alleged point, and her vehicle is hijacked with her 3-year-old in the car. Now, the mother calls the husband, allegedly. So far, this is what police have put out there. Calls the father calls the police. Bad karma. Not sure yet. Another child loss. I pray not, but kidnapping in a remote area.
She was riding with her mother when her mother pulled over to speak with her. And that's when police say a bald white male in his 40s approached at gunpoint and took Nola in the area. Again, the 500 point of Gender Road in Newcastle. Police say he was wearing a black sweatshirt, gray basketball shorts, and escaped in either a dirty or rusty black Ford or Chevy SUV. Police issued.
So mom doesn't drive after the car, taking pictures or anything. She calls dad. Dad calls police. Something doesn't feel right. I mean, if it's what really happened, if it's what really happened, it's what really happened. The chances of that, though, I mean, I get it. It happens, but no, they didn't take the car, just the baby. Hey, TK, just the baby. I don't know, Heather. Oh, I believe it, Everett. I believe she would freak out. He took the baby from her. This
update late last night.
Hey, Scooter.
The white male was in a dark-colored SUV, possibly a Ford or Chevy, and was driven by a white female. The white male is described as approximately 40 years old, bald, with peach fuzz hair. The vehicle had possibly rust or dirt on the exterior of the vehicle, and the vehicle drove away with Nola Dinkins. Nola is 3 years old, approximately 3 foot tall, weighing approximately 25 pounds, with black hair and brown eyes.
Oh my God, she's gorgeous. Let's take a moment and give prayers for Nola. But yeah, I'm sorry to say something doesn't sound right. Mom pulls over to talk to the 3-year-old. This white male with fuzz peach hair jumps out of a dark vehicle that's driven by a white female, takes the baby. I know, Yoga.
Yep, so
She is
take
beautiful,
a very good look
gorgeous.
at her. That is Nola Dinkins. She's 3. Let police know if you have seen her over the course of the last 12 hours. Again, this happened last night at about 7:15. Police add that they do not have a tag on the vehicle being driven, that dark SUV, by the alleged kidnappers. They also say they've got no reason to believe that Nola or her mother are any relation with the kidnappers, but they are looking for those 2 people, this bald man in his 40s, dark sweatshirt, gray basketball pants, and whoever that female was, they say, that was behind the wheel of that dark SUV. If you know or have seen either Nola or that SUV, call Newcastle Police immediately.
So that's the current situation on that. There's an Amber Alert. Yeah. Who in the car would let that car drive off with your child and you sat there calling your man? Sounds off? Oh, it sounds off. I get it. I thought you were saying my sounds off. I don't know when she was last seen outside of, the mother, but around 7:15, 7:30 last night. Mother again pulls over to speak with the 3-year-old. At that moment, a white male jumps out of a dark SUV that may or may not be dirty, confronts them at gunpoint, kidnaps the baby. Mother then calls her husband. Her husband calls 911, and there's an Amber Alert out for Nola here. So no matter what, keep your eyes out. This is in Newark, Delaware. And keep your eyes out for this precious baby girl. You think so, Sandra? I hope so. Who knows, Yoga Mama? So far, this is all we have. It's horrible. Let's see what else we can find on it. Nope. Just Amber Alert. Mom pulls over to talk to her to calm her down. She's about 3 feet tall. She's weighing 25 pounds. Black hair, brown eyes. She was last seen wearing a white t-shirt. Give me a second. Apparently, the kidnapper's mid-40s with a bald head and peach fuzz on his face. The man was last seen wearing a black hooded sweatshirt and gray basketball shorts. They got an older model black or dark color Ford or Chevrolet SUV, which appear to have rust or dirt on the exterior. Unknown white woman was driving the car. Nola herself, was last seen wearing a white t-shirt, black leggings with white shoes, and her hair is in a bun. I know it sounds suspicious, but let's just keep our eyes out for Nola, especially if you were in the area. Obviously, there's a lot of questions by people, but let's just pray that the baby's okay. If he was wearing a hood, how would she see his hair? His facial hair. JC Duggar was abducted, Granny? Yeah. Sweatshirt with shorts. She's in a running vehicle, gun or not. You hit the gas and go. Well, it sounds to me like maybe she got out of the car to talk to the baby, and that's when this all happens. I don't know, but something doesn't feel right, but let's hang on to our seats and just pray that Nola is found safe and sound. I'm sure if this is a lie, if they're lying, I'm sure the police will be on it. Can't really get away with crimes in 2025 unless you are a fake makeshift PI organization that does a lot of illegal crap and then tries to take out false litigation on people, which is where we find ourselves today. So, as you all know, the quote-unquote plaintiffs all filed an appeal, and there has been a little bit of movement in this appeal process. Ridiculous movement nonetheless. let's go ahead and take a look at what's been going on. So the last that we saw was obviously Barbecue put in for her petition for counsel fees. We read that. AtNight then puts in their official appeal, but what they also do is they put in their statement of matters complained of on appeal. Now, we touched a little bit on this, not fully, but let's take a look. So, statement of matters complained of on appeal. Normally, the judge has to request this. In this case, the judge did not request this. They just did it on their own, which is, quite fitting for where we are today. So their reason for this appeal, their alleged reason, is the trial court abused its discretion, erred, and violated the separation of powers doctrine by adjudicating and granting a special motion to dismiss under the anti-SLAPP. Although Act 72 of 2024 defers the effectiveness of that procedural section until promulgation by the Supreme Court of Pennsylvania and publication of Pennsylvania Bulletin, which had not occurred. So their argument is, because there is no committee of rules for the SLAPP, that the SLAPP shouldn't have been granted. Although the SLAPP is now recognized in legislation. So that's their argument. Will it stick? Doubt it, but whatever. Good luck to them on that. The court erred in concluding that defendants' doxing, targeted harassment, and monetized true crime broadcasts constituted protected public expression. Now, again, there's no proof of doxing. Nobody over here is doxing. They are, but anyway. The commercial activity exclusion for communications related to the sale of goods and service. So they're trying to claim that our YouTube channels are goods and services. Whatever. B, constitutional limits on true threats, fighting words, and intimidation. So I never knew there was like a limit. So you can do these things, but there's a limit. So, okay. The court abused its discretion, denied appellants due process by refusing narrowly tailored discovery needed to authenticate podcast recordings. Now, here's the thing with that. You're the one that took out this litigation. You're the one that said you had hundreds and hundreds of hours of podcast. You don't need to authenticate anything. You're the one that has it. Secondly, they then say that they should have been allowed to obtain YouTube monetization data. Why the hell would you have access to my YouTube monetization? On God's green earth, why would you get that? Like, who do you think you are? And explore defendant's knowledge of falsity. So here's the thing. The court actually did give them the hearing that they request that's necessary. They came unprepared. They had no proof of anything. So, you can't sit there and say, I'm responsible for what Queen did, what Nonsense did, what 50 other alleged people have done. You can't do that. It's not the way it works. Not only that, but none of the defamation that they claim to have had, first off, is or does fall under defamation, but whatever. The court dismissed the action while genuine issues of material fact remained, excluded or disregarded appellant's declarations of facts and recordings because you didn't submit it correctly. It's not the judge's job to make sure that Lesniak knows how to do his job. That's your job. Not only that, but they didn't want to answer to our answers and our attempt at getting discovery. So, excluded or disregarded appellant's declarations of facts and recordings, admitted a single defense exhibit, and expressly weighed credibility, all in violation. It's not in violation, but moving on. The court abused its discretion by denying appellant's amended emergency motion for protective order as mute, despite irrefutable evidence of ongoing doxing and unlawful courtroom live streaming. Now, if you go and look at that, the judge herself even says there's no proof at all that anybody was live streaming. And over their 700 pages, okay, 700 pages of exhibits, not one of them had any singular proof of live streaming. You know why? Because nobody live streamed in that courtroom. The court abused its discretion and contravened by dismissing the complaint with prejudice while appellant's motion for leave to amend and to join other defendants was pending. She didn't do it while it was pending. She denied the pending motion at the courtroom. When we had court for the SLAPP, that was brought up, and she pointed out to them that, one, you did not need permission from this court to even amend at that point, and two, she denied their amended. So she didn't, rule with that left open. She closed it first. Matter of fact, I'll pull it up right now. Give me just a second. This litigation just irks my soul. It really does. It is so fraudulent. It is so not based in reality that is literally infuriating. But I'll show you all in just a second. All right. Okay. Let me open this up for you all. Exit out of this so I don't show it. So if we go over to the transcript of the hearing that they're basically saying didn't take place, you're going to see here, first things first, is Lesniak asked for a continuance. The judge says, why do you need a continuance? He states that he needs to get, all right, wait, here, all right, so we'll start with the movements. Your Honor, if we could, before you hear arguments, they motion for discovery. The plaintiffs are asking for a continuance per the law that allows for limited discovery. We're asking that, Your Honor. Now, listen, they could have started discovery at any point. They didn't. They didn't start discovery. So the fact that they waited until we had a hearing, we're asking that, Your Honor, because when we filed the complaint, the exhibits were digital, as you can imagine. So she goes down and basically the judge says, well, you could have entered it other ways. You didn't do it. Then he tries saying there was issue with service, which my attorney put him in his place and said there absolutely was not. You had me served. You were sent a letter. My attorney was not opening anything from these cons. The court then acknowledges we've been served. So here's Lesniak. I have the discovery hand to defense counsel. I believe it would be relevant to them to have the exhibits and the discovery in this case and to continue. Now, how many of you have ever heard of litigation going forward without the defense having the exhibits? They didn't do it right. That has nothing to do with the judge or has to do with Lesniak's incompetence. Nothing else. So he comes down here. He says, it's a fact, digital evidence of YouTube. So we're asking the court a chance to do that as well as other discovery that may be needed in this case for the oral argument. And then the court says, why do you need leave? I saw there was a motion for leave. Why do you need leave? Lesniak says, just because, Your Honor, we're asking to change the complaint and by the complaint information. So the court says, you don't need leave. Has there been an answer? Lesniak, there was an answer to it. Yes, we did not file. We're waiting for service, and you would believe that. So the judge said there's been an answer. So once we responded, they didn't need the court's permission to amend. And you're going to hear the judge say that to them. There's been an answer to the original complaint, which you filed an answer to the complaint. So once there's an answer, they don't need the court's permission. No one has. That means there are preliminary objections. Okay. If there are preliminary objections, Lesniak, that I had 20 days to file. I understand that, Judge, but I did not do that because service hadn't been effectuated according to the court administration, which is a lie. Obviously, they had me served by the sheriffs. They know that. It's on the docket. Here we go. Here's the judge. Mr. Lesniak, you don't need, there's no answer. I said it backwards. If there's no answer to the complaint, they don't need permission to amend. At that point, they could have amended without the court's permission, but that's not what they were trying to do. What they were trying to do, in my opinion, is stall tactic. They were trying to just hold the courts up, hold this litigation up so that they wouldn't have to answer for it. I don't think they suspected that we would ever respond, let alone hit them with a slap. There's preliminary objections. Miss Trude, I guess, filed a complaint, and I joined those, Your Honor. You file POs, and then you can just file an amended complaint. Mr. Lesniak, and we were waiting for service be rendered, Judge, or a decision being made. So he's a liar. Because again, on the court docket, I was served. Hey, Aaron. So he could have just amended it. So the fact that that's now part of their complaint over here is ridiculous. And if we go a little bit further on, the judge literally says to them that I'm denying your motion to amend. She acknowledges their request for discovery and asks what it is. Mr. King points out that's not discovery, so let's take a look at that. Right here. This stuff about discovery and amended a complaint. The amended complaint that's offered is simply to add more people into this already ridiculous action that's been brought. I believe this is, this is Mr. King. This action, if the court has had the opportunity to read this complaint, this 300 and some paragraph dialogue that's before this court cannot stand on any aspect of a complaint that's required to be filed under the rules of civil procedure. Every aspect of this complaint is improper. There isn't a single properly pled allegation. There are people identified as plaintiffs in this complaint, Your Honor, with no allegation about any claims whatsoever. Dog the Bounty Hunter from TV fame is added to try to intimidate these two poor women that had to put up with this stuff. The judge says, well, except that the legislation, the statute, actually does allow discovery when a motion such as yours is made. Mr. King says, if in your discretion you see that that's something reasonable, the court says, what? A 350, what's the discovery? Which is why I asked Mr. Lasniak, what's the discovery you need? So here's Lasniak's response. Some information, Judge, as to the basis of their podcasts. So we have podcasts, Judge, going all the way back to the beginning of October from these two defendants regarding my clients and statements made about my clients. Things like calling them a pedophile, calling my client's probation officer, and making complaints, and all sorts of other outlandish accusations and defamatory accusations. Now, that's not what the judge was asking. The judge wanted to know, what do you actually have against these people? But of course, we know they have nothing against me. I never called any of them the P word. I never called anybody's parole or probation officer. I never did any of it. Mr. King then says, that's not discovery, Your Honor. And then my attorney says, that's not discovery. You just said that you have hundreds of hours of exhibits and you need discovery. Mr. King again says, that's not discovery. Put a 1 in the chat. Do you believe Mr. King and Mr. Martucci, the well-established attorneys, or do you believe Joseph Lasniak that runs around with a made-up fake company and Nick and Hong? Which attorney do you believe knows what discovery is and what it isn't? A 1 if you believe King and Martucci, a 2 if you believe Joseph Lasniak. I'm very curious where everybody stands. Oh, lots of 1s. Yeah, I'm going to take these two well-established attorneys' opinions that that's not what discovery is over Lasniak, who couldn't obviously argue his way out of a paper bag. And you all are smart people too. I see that. Mrs. W, I hope you have a great day. Thank you. And the claims you make under RICO, defamation is not a predicate act for RICO. Harassment is not a predicate act for RICO. None of them. There's 35 predicate acts for RICO. You don't know any of them. You haven't properly pled any of them. Mr. Lasniak says, Your Honor, may I? Mr. Artucci says, there's no need for discovery when you have all this information already in your possession. So then the judge asks, what's in these digital exhibits that OJ asked that you say couldn't be filed? Lasniak says, the podcast, Judge. The information that, as it is, says in a complaint that verifies the information that is pled in a complaint. And it is provided and is continuous and ongoing, Judge. And there are podcasts from just this past weekend regarding this hearing and everything else and everything involved, Judge. This is a continuing course of conduct as through and require identifies several. Now, Mr. Martucci, Judge, in his argument, he in a RICO complaint, he argues that it's a closed-ended and an open-ended, okay? It cannot be both. You put the exhibits, part of this thing was you delivered these to a podcaster, this whole thing, before my client was served on October 18th, so he could talk about it. And all they did was mention Bruce Castor. Bruce, oh, this is serious. This is a federal crime. This is a federal crime. It's not a crime. This is not federal court. This is civil court. on top of that, you put all those exhibits and all those things. You had since October 18th to file those things. Okay. So you waited, you put them on a website so the public go out and castigate these two women. So you go out and go, oh, look at these things. Look at these affidavits of nonsense. And that's what you did. Now you want a continuance? All right. So I'm going down to where, here we go. Mr. Lasniak, when I asked him what discovery he needs, he said he needs discovery as to the basis of the defendant's podcast. Mr. Lasniak, I'm not sure that discovery as to the basis of the defendant's podcast is the type of discovery that is envisioned by the statute that the defendants have invoked to file their motions. The discovery that's allowed is limited discovery if a party, and that's you wanting the discovery, shows that specific information is necessary to establish whether a party, and now that would be the defendants, have satisfied or failed to satisfy a burden under Section 8340.15 relating to the grant of immunity. You tell me, but it doesn't sound like, I need discovery as to the basis of their podcast is any kind of limited discovery that shows specific information about a burden that they are immune from your lawsuit. Then he says he believes there's interrogatories that should be filed to ask questions. He has hundreds and hundreds and hours of podcasts. My attorney then says, Judge, I already started discovery, pointing out that Lasniak could have started at any time. Okay. I believe there's information, Judge, that can be garnered on a limited basis, Judge. Shut up. God, this guy, I really, honestly, if you're in Delaware County, do not hire this guy. I believe that is relevant for this limited basis. Anyway, so we're going to get back over. So Lasniak tries to bring up again, there was an issue with service. Boop. I'm looking for where she denies his. She then points out that it would be us that would ask for requests for discovery, not the plaintiffs. But again, we're talking about Nick the Hat. They don't need anything. First of all, the podcast, they already have hundreds of hours. This is part of what they've done here, Your Honor. They've said that my client is going to spend the next 10 years doing podcasts to buy gas to and from the courthouse. Okay, that's one. He's had hundreds of hours. Those podcasts, even if he requested them, are readily available as part of the public, and he has them. I started discovering this case, and one of his plaintiffs said, because I was sending him to discovery, you're harassing me. Who are you to tell me I have 30 days to answer discovery? You guys can guess who that was. Let's go down. Sorry, I know this is annoying, but I want to find this one part where she literally denies his amend. Here we go. Made a discovery. She says no. She then tells Lasniak he has the burden. But I'm going to deny your motion for discovery. The defendants have not asked for discovery, so we can roll right through into oral argument on the motion. You tell me you don't need discovery. You have the burden, right? Under what is it? At least that's what it's saying. So let's have oral argument on your motions as to why this case ought to be dismissed. Our attorneys come out swinging. They do a great job. Let's see where he asked for the amend. This is where they claim that we are live streaming. Obviously, we were not. Idiots. God, they're so fake. The judge even says here, if it happens, then report it to authority. Well, don't bring it to me. But the statute doesn't allow for amendment of the complaint. Here it is. All right. Okay. All right. Before I know, you turned it over to your colleague. One thing gave me pause about what you said. Something about the statute doesn't allow for an amendment of the complaint. Is there something in the anti-SLAPP statute that says that? I was saying earlier, standard Pennsylvania practice allows for amendments when, and you all were not in agreement when I said, Mr. Lasniak, you didn't need to ask me for permission. There it is. So Joseph Lasniak, a.k.a. Nick the Head, or whoever their scrivener is, could have amended their complaint without the judge's permission. They're just fucking liars. Thank you so much, Electro. So we see that right there. That was as to the complaint under the rules of civil procedure. Under this statute, there are two parts to the statute. Blah, blah, blah. So we have it right there. She even said, you didn't need my permission. But I'm not. I don't want an argument on the motion for leave to amend. That's not before me. I'm sorry I kind of triggered this by asking. Made a comment about the statute under what he's bringing this motion to dismiss, having some sort of provision that does not allow for amendments to the complaint. So she dismissed their amendment. Whatever. Back over here. So here's their other reason. The trial court erred by resolving the anti-SLAPP motions without the evidentiary hearing contemplated, thereby neglecting its burden to determine on a developed factual record whether defendant's conduct constitute protected expression or unprotected cyberbullying, harassment, and stalking. What were we just reading? Notice one, this got filed. Oh, Hong was back on X. Have you noticed there's a pattern with them? Yeah, I do. Right here is the hearing that they're claiming never took place. So just to go back over it, again, number 7 is they're saying there was no hearing, but I just read you the transcript from the hearing. They're saying that their motion to leave, motions for leave to amend was pending, despite her closing it during that hearing. They're saying that they should have gotten their protective orders, despite irrefutable evidence, which the judge herself points out there was no evidence. Genuine issues of material fact remained. That she disregarded appellant's declarations of facts and recordings. She didn't. She acknowledged every single one. That she refused narrowly tailored discovery. When again asked what the discovery was, which we just read over in the court hearing, they're saying did it take place? They never said that they needed to authenticate podcast recordings and obtain YouTube monetization, which again, they don't deserve. 2, they're trying to say that we are selling goods. Okay. And their last one is that there's no rules committee set up by the Supreme Court, which does not stop a law from being in existence. So that's their complaint, rules on complaint. Now, what I will read from you, and then they got their notice of appeal, then they got a statement. Now, here's what the judge thinks of what they're doing. I actually really enjoy this judge's response to things. You are an idiot. All right. So this is the judge holding the request for attorney fees and abeyance until the appeal is over. But check this out. You guys awake in the chat? Check this out. I don't know. Hopefully they're doing something productive with themselves. I find this to be funny. Here's what the judge says. Plaintiff's notice of appeal is found at docket number 60. This court notes that while the court did not request a concise statement of matters complained of on appeal, plaintiffs nevertheless chose to file such a statement on June 5th, 2025, the deadline for the response to the fee petition, rather than responding to the motion at issue in this order. So she's pointing out that 1, I didn't want that from you. 2, you had a deadline to respond to the fee petition and you didn't. Instead, you filed a concise statement of matters complained of, which we appreciate the heads up to your dumbass arguments. Although I'm sure we can go and blind it and still not need what you gave. But this court knows further that the undersigned only learned of the now pending appeal when the court checked the docket for plaintiff's responses, if any. Oh, the shade she takes, if any. Because don't forget, prior to holding the hearing that they're claiming never was held, they didn't respond to anything. And she noted that. She noted that the plaintiffs did not respond to a singular filing up until her granting that hearing. If any, to the motions for punitive damages, which were due to the court's chambers on May 13th, 2025. Contrary to both the Delaware County local rules of civil procedure and the court's prior direction to all parties, the court was not provided with a courtesy hard copy of the answer to the motions for punitive damages, nor was the court provided a copy of, nor made aware of, the now pending appeal in this case. I don't know about all of you, but it sounds to me that this judge doesn't like these guys very much. That she sees right through the shenanigans that they're playing. He deserves to, Marley B. Hey, B. Tim. He deserves to. You'll see that all their signatures are pretty fake. Yeah, she threw some shade. So, there's that. This judge's response. Then what do? Then they come in and they respond to the motion. Which, again, they're late for. The motion to the request for attorney fees. And their argument is baseless. They're basically saying because Barbecue crowdfunded, she doesn't deserve the money. They're also claiming that Barbecue used the GoFundMe money for the blip boards or whatever it was. I don't know if it was GoFundMe, whatever. That she used blip board money for her litigation. Now, neither of those are true, okay? Neither of those are true. But I will say this. Raising attorney fees doesn't mean you don't deserve them back. It doesn't mean that you didn't pay out of pocket. It also doesn't mean that the debt money wouldn't have been given to you in another aspect. I've gotten well less super chats and just regular tips because of litigation, because people are helping with that. So that money is none of their business. And it's not an argument. It is written in law that if you win the anti-slap, you get back attorney fees. They can't come in with this whole, oh, their hands aren't clean and they fundraised or whatever other bullshit. Fuck off. Miss Liverbird, losing LARPers can't handle being made fools of. Love you, girl. You got this. Thank you. Right, and they're entitled. They're fucking entitled. So that's pretty much what they argue here. Stupid argument. Defendant True cannot show any entitlement to fees under the Anti-SLAPP Act because her fundraising communications were commercial in nature. Her claims are not barred under the statute's immunity provisions, and her underlying conduct, misappropriating charitable donations, renders any equitable relief improper. They can't prove that. They can't prove that at all. Oh, well, you can turn down your volume if you feel like I'm yelling, Kelly. It's because I talk loud because of where I'm from and I'm passionate. So if you feel like I'm yelling, you could always turn your mic down, or you can just turn to a different live stream, whichever you prefer. The court, this one. Paid her legal bills with money solicited under the guise of helping locate plaintiff's missing son, which is also bullshit. So they just lie. They lie about everything. I agree more. I couldn't agree more. How attorneys were paid is none of their business. They think fees should be thrown out. Fuck that. Punitive damages are going to be awarded. Absolutely agree. Right, KT. My money would have never went towards this. The money of all of you would have never went towards this if they didn't put out frivolous litigation. Sitters painting, renovating. Well, she was supposed to renovate her kitchen years ago. Turn yourself up. I'm a loud speaker. It's just how I talk. I'm sorry if it's too loud for you. Yes, Agent 99 doesn't seem counterproductive that they're able to drag it out. Obviously, there's some changes that need to be had to the anti-slap. But yeah, I couldn't agree more. Seems counterproductive. The best thing about this is, as the judge noted, they did not respond timely. So it doesn't really matter what they put. because they didn't respond in a timely manner. They missed the deadline. Right. The punitive, well, this is about attorney fees, but punitive damages are to punish the plaintiffs. It's not to, it's to deter this type of behavior. Signed more filings a few days ago. Yeah, I bet she didn't. You want to see it? Boom, 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 boom. Let's check these out. So here they are trying to add whatever they I guess declared as to be proof, their exhibits, which would be her fundraising, but again, doesn't prove that she misappropriated the funds. Did you know that? Did I see the receipt for the total collected and total spent? Only thing wrong is where you're looking for info. How's this proof again? This is not proof. They have to provide proof that the money didn't go where they said it would. And not only that, but they're not police. So none of this has to do with anything. I don't know how they think these are, they're proof, but whatever. We have a right to raise money for legal fees. So these are their exhibits. Dan UA, you became an exhibit. We shall call you Exhibit 2001. Again, you have to take this to the police. You don't have the right to hold this against her in a civil lawsuit. And you can't even verify who these people are to say any of this is even truthful. Again, I don't know what she did with the fundraiser. I don't know what she did with the blip boards. I know that sure can't be held against me. So even though they try putting it against me and they're filing. So that's that. And let's pull up and look at some signatures, shall we? You'll notice something in common with each of these. I know it ain't their business how I pay my damn attorney. That's for sure. Oh, it's the same thing. Okay, let's take a look at this. Let's get past all these screenshots of ridiculous, I don't know, randoms on social media. I don't know how that can validate that the monies were misappropriated, but whatever. So here we have Seth Rogers. Does that look like a real signature to anybody? That looks like a typed out signature, doesn't it? So that is Seth Rogers. Now let's go down because surely they're signing these, right? Oh, wait. Hung C, you have the same exact signature as Seth Rogers. That's amazing. Check that out. Right there, Seth Rogers on June 5th. It's amazing you guys all have the same signatures around the same date, too. Wow. Tony Mathis, his is different. What does that say? I belong in jail? Huh. Wow, they're all signing at the same time. Oh, wait. Now, this is weird. Andrea's signature is the same as Seth. Huh. Okay. I don't know what kind of signature that is, but it looks like you wrote God off. Weird. All right, let's go down. Now, this is Brittany's. This, again, doesn't even look like your name. You signed at June 5th. Okay. I can't wait to present all of this in a countersuit. Julie has the same signature as them, too. This is amazing. They all have that. That's so cool that they all typed the same way. Wow. Oh, wait. Dwayne Lee Chapman. He has the same signature as Julie and Seth and Hong. Wow. And we got Joseph Lasniak. Man, I can't wait to have my shirt to wear to all the events this year. It's going to be nice. The dog, right. It's a fun. Really, Young Weezy? That's crazy. That's a font you can choose? So they're not actually signing anything? Wow. Here, I thought they all just wrote exactly the same way. Thank you, Jay, for your brilliant mind to let me know that. Wow, sheesh. I thought, no way, they typed the same way. I mean, write the same way. I know, young Wheezy, I'm being a smartass. I seriously know that, guys. I'm not Brittany J up here. Oh, you guys don't say digital signatures? No. Wonder why they don't have real signatures. Cindy Kane, thank you for that knowledge. Butter, nobody else can pick up on it. Thank you for letting me know. It's a electronic signature. So you mean to tell me these guys don't even care to actually sign their names to things? We're supposed to take that they all electrically signed? No, I appreciate you telling me, young Weezy, but I really did. I knew that it was. Of course it does, Agent 99, and that's all going to come out too. Again, they can try to whatever you will. They can try to appeal this. They can try to keep it going, whatever. All signed the same day, all signed around the same time. Absolutely. And it's going to catch up to them. This will all come down on them, especially Lasniak and Castor. Yeah. It's beyond obvious what's happening here. But we shall see. We should see what the judges say. Again, my attorney appreciates the heads up to your argument. Not that we really needed it. You don't really have an argument. I'm not even an attorney, and I can smash down why your 7 reasons to appeal aren't gonna cut it. Usually in focusing, it has date, time, and location coordinates. I feel like every filing is just more proof that they are trying to silence you and financially drain you. Right. In court papers, if a typed signature is used in lieu of real signature, there has to be the N or S as notation as to how the document was signed. That's nice to know, Wendy Blank. I didn't know that. Me too, Mr. Blue. It's really unfortunate, but when I read Nick's, well, Tiffany, that's what it read to me. I agree, Tracy. Well, in Agent 99, I said the same thing, and here's the answer I got. Everybody has a right to an appeal. Everybody. Now, you would think with a slap suit, the whole purpose is to put an end to frivolous litigation. You would think they wouldn't have a right to an appeal, but unfortunately, everybody does. The only good thing about it is that this would have drug on a lot longer than it did if it weren't for the slap. We would be a year, 2 years in, 3 years in. So the fact that the slap did kind of speed it up to under a year, I guess is better than nothing. But obviously there are changes that need to be had to the slap suit. As they noted, there is no rules committee for the slap. There needs to be. And hopefully they get one after this. Hell, maybe our attorneys can be the first on the committee. First to successfully execute it in local court and superior court. Because I have no doubt in my mind that superior court will see right through these shenanigans. I mean, a judge doesn't just turn around and say, I'm going to play it in a minute, Straight Talker. A judge doesn't just turn around and say, hey, you gave no evidence to anything at all. And then these guys say, oh, we had all the evidence. You're delusional. You're absolutely delusional. Nobody live streamed from the courtroom. Nobody at all. Matter of fact, the sheriffs took our phones. So how are we live streaming? You people are just pathological liars. You don't live in reality. And it's seriously concerning. Then you have this bogus shit they're doing. Oh my gosh. Is anybody else worried for the mental well-being of these people? How are you so from reality to the point where you're doing pretend fucking businesses and shit? There's something wrong here.
Hello, good people. What I'm about to show you is a lame, failing quote unquote intelligence agencies
Exactly. Nevermore.
humiliating admission of defeat, masquerading as a total relaunch that justifies raising its minimum retainer.
You know what else they brought up and their reasons why barbecue shouldn't get attorney fees? They brought up because barbecue stated that she would refund donators if she won. Now I don't know if barbecue ever said that. I don't know why that would even be an argument to them. But I do see right here that they say that barbecue, first off, they request an evidentiary hearing. Yeah, we do too. Bring all of you in. It says that Trude has monetized live streams, sold merchandise, and promoted herself commercially. Activities excluded from the anti-slap protection, right? Now, let me see. Because that would be saying like a news reporter is no longer allowed to be a news reporter if they put in for an anti-slap. So you mean to tell me if ABC is sued or Fox News is sued and they turn around and they continue running their business that they can't have a slap? All right, let's read about it. Exclusion states that the anti-slap law does not apply to claims that start in a civil action against a person primarily engaged in the business of selling or leasing goods or services. What? Based on this exclusion, activities such as if the live stream is primarily focused on promoting or selling goods or services. Well, it's a good thing I don't sell shit. I don't have merch. I don't sell anything. They didn't mention that, Agent 99. So the same argument would go for them, right? Like we got somebody saying we need to get the memberships up, y'all. Starting up a second channel, making sure that one's monetized too. But promoting or selling goods or services. So it's a good thing I don't sell anything. Generally, commercial promotion of oneself, if tied to the sale of goods or services, yeah, like I don't know. I don't know if they have an argument against it, but I know with me they don't. Communications related to the sale of merchandise by somebody primarily engaged in that business would also be excluded from anti-slap protection. So thank God it won't be me because I don't sell shit. I don't have merch. I don't sell anything. Nothing. All right, let's read this really quick. Let's see how this would work. Communication related to the person's sale. See, it doesn't work because again, I'm not a lawyer, but I think I may be a little bit more versed in it than somebody pretending to be a lawyer. But it says right here, against a person primarily engaged in a business of selling or leasing goods or services, if the cause of action arises out of a communication related to the person's sale or lease of the goods or services. So her whole thing isn't like, oh, I'm going to sell Sebastian shirts, and therefore she don't have an argument. No, doesn't quite work. Not only that, but they can't meet any of these other burdens. Arises solely from a communication on a matter of public concern. Put a 1 in the chat if you think Sebastian's disappearance, which has gone national, is of public concern. Yeah, I don't think they have much of an argument. I mean, it's a good try. It's a good try, but I don't think I think Mr. King can argue his way out of that. Hey, Wah. Great, I'll tell them a thing. They just keep asking. What? Right. It's none of their business. None of their business. I want to know how they paid Lasniak. Oh, put a 3 in the chat if you want to know how they paid Lasniak for his hard work. If you want proof that Lasniak was the one that filed all of this and is the actual scrivener of this shit. Now that I'm very interested in. I want to know who paid Lasniak and if Lasniak got paid. And if he didn't, I want to know what his foot in this was. Why would you do this for free, Lasniak? So, yeah, I don't know if they have an argument there. I don't think so, but I'm not an attorney. My attorney's not worried about it. It has nothing to do with me anyhow. And they honestly can't say the same thing about me because I didn't do blip boards. I didn't go on the news to advertise blip boards. I didn't go on the news to talk about a fundraiser. I didn't do any of that. And I certainly don't sell shit.
From $500,000 to $1 million minimum.
Listen to this. Now, this is funny.
As a total relaunch that justifies raising its minimum retainer from $500,000 to $1 million.
$1 million.
And demanding a minimum $2.5 million budget. That's right, my friends. In the wake of a humiliating legal defeat that shredded all claims of AtNight superior intelligence, a failed promise to find Sebastian Rogers come hell or high water,
Exclusively accept clients.
Failed promises to count, and admissions that its own internal operations were so corrupted that it has launched an internal investigation, these yahoos increased their minimum retainer.
Hey, what's their motto? I forget what they said. What was it? Something like, if you can withstand us, if you can withstand us. Oh, I know. He's such a clown, straight talker. The guy is such a clown. Like, they're and again, they didn't respond in time. So I don't even know if the judge will accept anything that they wrote because they didn't respond in time. You had a deadline. You missed the deadline. Instead, you put in a list of particulars for your appeal that the judge didn't request. So, good luck.
I mean, when was the last time you hired an expensive contractor that not only failed its core mission, but also made things exponentially worse and then decided to rehire them for a lot more money? And this renewed...
You guys notice something else different here? Not accepting new clients, creative intelligence retainers. So they're no longer private intelligence group. They're creative intelligence group. Who's running to hire these buffoons? Oh, I know, Lee the Bee. Hey, Firewalk with me. Ooh, somebody's crazy. Yeah, it's such a joke. Like Pretty in Pink said. Fake it until you get thrown in a slammer. Deanna Weeks, good morning to you. Thank you for being with us. Oh, boy.
Decided to rehire them for a lot more money. And this renewed demand for...
Look, AtNight is not just relaunching. It is being unleashed. These guys are literally concerning. Like, I don't know. I feel like some government agency does need to look into these guys. There's something not normal about them. Like, clearly we know... Yeah, it was well after. We know that these guys aren't what they pretend to be, right? So the idea that they are able to get away with all of this, they filed on June 9th. It was due to 5th. This is scary. Does creative mean creating fraudulent documents, emails, texts? Right. Fake companies, fake businesses, fake relationships with the Trump administration. They ain't right. And they ain't like us, that's for sure.
For more money begs a central question as well. If you're successful enough to increase your minimum retainer by $500,000, why rebrand? I mean, if it works so damn well, why change so many things within a year of your initial launch? As the thumbnail says, you can put lipstick on a pig, but it's still a pig. Now, come on, it's just a figure of speech, folks. Lipstick on a pig. I'm not equating the people at AtNight as pigs, but I do feel that this common expression is especially apropos for an outfit that has a director of global development who so often likes to call other people pigs.
These little like piglets oinking away every day.
Oink, oink, Hong, oink, oink. The fifth and filed denies. Why the delay? Oh, that's a good question. I don't know. Maybe because they're all like not totally there because they're frauds.
What you're looking at now is video of a drive I recently took through a very busy and populated portion of Mexico, just south.
That's so nice that she got to go to Mexico. She's going to point out here that there are no flyers for Sebastian whatsoever. No, and they said they believe he's over the border, yet they have nothing.
False promise. This false promise to infiltrate the border regions of Mexico with media about missing Sebastian Rogers is just...
I would never, ever watch them, ever.
One more of a long list of false promises that have been made by AtNight since they got involved in the case last September. Above and beyond their failed promise to find Sebastian, AtNight promised and failed to launch a major springtime search in Tennessee.
Yeah, normally when you do e-signatures, though, you have to have a reason. I'm waiting for my attorney to respond now, but normally you have to have a reason to do it. Like, you have to state why it's an e-signature and how you got it. But I'll see what my attorney says about it.
Promised and failed to have Dog the Bounty Hunter take one documented step in the search for Sebastian. Promised and failed to legally shut down the voices of dissenting YouTubers. Promised and failed to do national media appearances, and too many other promise failures to count.
Don't forget, they were going to have the nation light up green, just like they were going to have a press conference about litigation. Okay. Good morning, crazy girl. They are a fraudulent organization for sure, and their latest notice is sketchy in every way. No doubt. I mean, one can't even leave the state. So
why should anyone believe them when they say they're about to relaunch themselves as a creative intelligence agency and produce software product that anyone would trust to go anywhere near any of their devices or even their Wi-Fi, especially when they have put on their own X account that they have launched a massive internal investigation into?
All right, so she's getting into it now, right? So Dr. Snowflake says, why the F hasn't law enforcement shut this fake BS down? Now, I think they have. Thank you, Be Nice Tried. I really appreciate all of you. Exactly, Mama Swifty. I'm waiting to find out now how their weekly meetings with the president are going. Yeah, I'm sure they're going fantastically. But what you'll notice is they do an internal investigation, and she's about to read all of it here. I personally believe that they're being watched. I believe that they are getting in trouble. I do. Hey, Twinkle.
To fraud and abuse within their own ranks, only after making several posts broadcasting that their own systems have been breached time and time again by what they call our hackers and cyber terrorists. Why on earth would anyone with a $2.5 million budget to spare turn their private security services to these guys? Just listen to what they put on their own X account recently and tell me if your next thought is, yeah, I want them to be my private online intelligence.
Yeah, the spring came and went, didn't it? We're going to have 10,000 searchers out there in the spring. We're going to have upcoming Trump administration. So basically, there's no provision allowing it, but there's no provision against it. But it's not even something worth arguing because it's the least of concerns. Like the one they had on him. Yeah. I noticed, yeah.
Intelligence group.
In the interest of transparency, ethical governance, and operational integrity, the One World Society formally announces the commencement of an independent audit and internal affairs review into the leadership, conduct, and operational actions of AtNight, its affiliated operatives, command structure, and digital infrastructure.
Now, you know what's really weird about all of this? This is what's really weird about all of this is you literally have Nick, Hong, You have that Alex Swanson and Joseph Lasniak, right? These are the 4 people that make up AtNight Media. And if I'm wrong, prove me wrong. Show proof otherwise. I've spoken to people that used to be part of AtNight. I've spoken to people that are very familiar with Nick Hung, the whole AtNight Media bullshit, and they said it is a facade, that there are not these powerful entities behind it. It is nothing more than Nick and Hung playing make-believe, and every now and then a sucker comes along that wants to help them, that believes they're doing something, but they're not. It's fake. It's just like the Wizard of Oz. It's nobody behind it. It's fake. So when you keep that all in mind and you listen to what they wrote down, it's concerning. It's weird. You have these weirdos that are sitting in some fucking building coming up with this fantasy land. This is not normal behavior of adults. This is not normal behavior of people that should be involved in any missing child case. Scary as shit.
This process will be thorough, impartial, and unsparing. It is not a symbolic gesture. It is a necessary accountability measure triggered by both internal concerns and external observations meant to reinforce the integrity of our systems, personnel, and public trust.
So what they're doing, and Kara, thank you for the 5 gifted. Thank you. What they're doing is they're acting like they're going to clean up their company so they can revamp themselves. But the truth of the matter is, this is who and what they are. Like, this is them. It's them. There's nobody else. It's weird. And they put people in lawsuits to get them to settle. That's how they make money. It's off the settlements. I agree. I think that if the government is not looking into these guys, they need to. I believe Joseph Lasniak should be reprimanded by the bar. I think that Nick's parole should be revoked. I do. I believe these people are dangerous. They're scary. I've never seen LARPing go this far. They don't belong here. They don't belong in this genre. They don't belong on the internet. There's something really deeply disturbed about these people.
The audit will assess and report on the following areas with full access to records, personnel, and communications channels. 1. Chain of command compliance. Verification of whether all significant actions, public statements, and digital operations were properly authorized under T5.
I wish Lynn would have read this without that voice because it's hard to really listen to. Sweet Jones, thank you so much for being with us. Good morning to you. Caster needs to have consequences as well. Absolutely. You all heard Caster say the other day that they're all weird. They're not normal. That's what he said. They're not normal. The other day, Brittany referred to Lasniak as Nick's legal team. Please get a fucking grip with reality. Imagine being that, like, fucking stupid. There's no other word for it. Intentionally obtuse. Like, how do you still believe in these people? It's scary. It is scary to think that you believe that Nick, a parolee from PA, has a legal team, yet they can't even get filings incorrectly or on time. Yeah, he's a great attorney. Look up his statistics. Get the fuck out of here. A great attorney that doesn't even return your phone calls. Great attorney that led you right into debt.
T10 command hierarchy.
Scary, Twinkle.
Examination of bypassed command protocols, false attribution of authority, or retroactive justifications for unsanctioned actions.
Oh, absolutely, B.
2. Communications oversight and digital conduct.
I honestly, I can't even listen to this, but basically this is them claiming that they're going to have, of course, they're going to audit themselves. That's what they're going to do. They're going to audit themselves. Fake it till you make it. It should be illegal. I agree, Cindy Kane. There's a lot here that is concerning. Right, internal investigations. Like, who's running the internal? Is Nick going to internally investigate himself? The only internal investigations that are going on between Nick and Hung involve pink, fluffy handcuffs, if you ask me. That's my opinion. Maybe they are helping Trump clear his workload. Yeah, probably. They're probably just a little busy right now. Oh, I wouldn't even be surprised at this point. I think that's my opinion only. Lasniak is Alex Mar. Hasn't it? Probably. I mean, there is a possibility Nick has done that he can get away with this bullshit again. I agree. Elevated narcissism. Like, even the former DA, who's now an attorney, said that this guy is so detached from reality is concerning. It's concerning. I hope they are being investigated. They deserve it. You believe they are being investigated? Who do you think is going to sell out who? You think Hong's going to be the one sold out, or you think they're going to sell out a sucker like Tony? Or even Brittany. Hell, you're part of their team, aren't you? Yeah, how's that going for you, Seth? You didn't evade taxes again, did you? Well, to be fair, Castor only stepped in behind the scenes. He wouldn't publicly come out. He was aware enough not to be publicly seen with these guys. But I can't wait till it all crumbles down, and it will. And all the corruption and all the fuck shit and all the abuse of their signatures will be exposed. Of course, they're taking advantage of people. But you know what, though, up to good? At this point, enough of them has been exposed, and I refuse to believe that Tony or Seth are this stupid. At least Tony or Seth. It will, Sony. It'll crumble down. You're right, Gary. Handmade with love. Thank you. I can't wait for it to be over, too. What their end goal is, Twinkle, to distract the masses into believing that they're a real organization, to become something powerful that they will never, ever see or be. That's what their goal is. Right. Why would they do an internal investigation on themselves and tell people they are? I don't understand it. Right, Michelle? It makes no sense. What exactly are they seeking during this internal investigation? These rats have some type of agenda. Investigation will probably reveal outside infiltration amazingly discovered. Yeah. I agree. FBI fraud department. I agree. Well, I think that was their intent in the beginning. But I believe that they're going to try to say that AtNight did not fully support this litigation and blah, blah, blah. They're going to try to wash their hands of it, of the responsibility when all is said and done. And I would go as far as to say, they're probably going to say, oh, we got rid of so-and-so who did all of this. I remember who said it. I disagree, Agent 99. She's a victim of her own fucking stupidity. You're a 36-year-old mother of 5. Nothing can make you this fucking stupid. Kid's got a dog from them, and she is so skittish scared. It's like they beat him, and that's the pound he supports. Well, Daniel, if that's true, I'm really sorry to hear that. More games, right? My favorite bee, buzzing these streets. Thank you, Titanium. Anybody want to come up? What did Hung... Oh, I don't know. Pigeon in a pickle jar, if you ask me. Active participants and taking advantage of people. Absolutely. They all thought that this was going to get them closer to being an actual organization like the Petito Foundation. They thought they were going to make their way up through the political world of things, that they were going to set new legislation, and, you know, and then you have these buffoons that come in and say, oh, we're friends with the Trump administration. I'm friends with this person, that person. Meanwhile, half the people you listed don't even fucking acknowledge you, and including Bruce Castor. Put a 1 in the chat if you heard Bruce Castor say that all night media, because he didn't remember their name, that they're not normal. That they're not normal. He doesn't even want to be publicly seen with them, although we know differently. And no matter how he tries to spin it, we know that Castor is involved with them, and it will come out through the bar. Lots of 1 in the chat. All right, I'm going to play this for a second while I feed Nelly.
Review of all transmissions, publications, and engagements across Signal, Discord, secured mail, and affiliated channels. Identification of any actions that may constitute unauthorized representation of AtNight, impersonation, doxing, retaliatory engagement, or dissemination of unvetted intelligence. 3. Surveillance and identity exposure. Investigation into whether any individual engaged in surveillance or exposed tactics, public or private, without express authorization, legal clearance, or sufficient evidentiary justification. Cross-reference against AtNight's operating guidelines and applicable jurisdictional laws. 4. Use of psychological pressure or defamatory tactics. Assessment of whether any current or former personnel use their position or affiliation to defame, harass, or pressure individuals either inside or outside the organization. Evaluation of whether such behavior was systemic, encouraged, or ignored by those in supervisory roles. 5. Financial, legal, and reputational risk management. Identification of any conduct that may have exposed the organization to civil liability, regulatory violation, public trust erosion, or undermined our strategic partnerships and funding frameworks.
You know, all I hear, honest to God, is ChatGPT. That's all I hear. All of this is so stupid. I think they're trying so hard. On one hand, they want to erase what we all know about them, what the majority knows about them. And on the other hand, they want to be something big. So they're going to try to revamp themselves. They're going to try to silence any opposing opinions of them. And they're going to come out here and they're going to impact the next missing family, the next big case. They're fraudulent, fake people. I can't stand them. That's why everything they do is so baffling. We can't use sane thinking to determine their motives. No, I think they just don't live in reality. That's what I really think. Me. Thank you for becoming a member. I mean, does anybody actually believe this crap? Nick Silvers and others just popped up when Sebastian disappeared? Yeah, right. No. The people that can't look at the situation and think, hey, what happened to the Oregon lead, the Venezuelan gang, the labor trafficking, TRH, the school he's hiding in, Canada? Or how about the fact that he was supposedly in the pipelines out front? Exactly, Agent 99. They're going to try to wash their hands of it. They're going to try to act like they weren't part of all this fuck shit. The shit that will stay on their names forever. Matter of fact, I got to go into my studio and make sure I tag them in this. So the next victims that come along don't fall for this LARPing. It's despicable what they do. Absolutely despicable. And then they try to project all of their inner workings and the way they operate onto us, right? We're the bad guys. We're the LARPers. We're the ones that are the doxing and defaming people, not them. It's disgusting. Seth Rogers is where's all the searches at? Right, who would they blame for being their leader? I think they thought money would be thrown at them. I bet you they probably did. I wonder if Alex Swanson's going to take the fall. I can't imagine Nick's going to turn on his BFF Hung or vice versa. But where are they all at? It's about time for Seth Rogers to do his monthly appearance. You think so, Jay? I wouldn't doubt if they throw, I don't know, one of their NDA signers under the bus. They're kind of slick in what they did. If you all recall, back in the beginning, when they first came along, they stated that they were hiring people for remote jobs. Every single idiot, and if you remember, at that time, they claimed that 2 people tried to infiltrate using fake IDs. Of course, nothing ever came of that. But they tried saying that that's what was going on, that they were hiring people. Therefore, that those people that they quote-unquote hired, that gave all their information, signed an NDA, is part of their company. And that's what they're probably going to throw one of them under the bus. I wouldn't even doubt it. Right. Who knows, Jay? Who are actually out there speaking, or Betty and Beige? Right, the 2 voices. Useless. For searches, Trump administration, dog boots on the ground, satellite. The list goes on and on, flight nurse. I couldn't agree more. Remember that, Michelle? Of course. How many things did they say that never came true? And now you don't have, I don't know, Akira. You don't have Vinnie Politan. You don't have Nancy Grace. Hell, even Jennifer Coffendorfer has started to wake up. None of these people want to be tied in. And Seth and Tony thought they were going to be the next Petito Foundation. They don't even want any ties to any of you. I feel the courts will shut them down. I think so. Prismo's picks. Did you get rid of Pickles? I think there are people who are finally realizing a fake organization, but amazingly, there are people who still blindly following. But the people that are blindly following Lita B are doing so because they dislike one of us that they're after in litigation. That's it. That's all. It's not because they believe in these guys. It's not because they actually think they're helping Sebastian. It's not because of any of that. It's because of who they dislike. They did make a mockery out of Sebastian's case. Absolutely. Yup, Jason, and it will follow them, and we'll be sure of it. They will never be able to prey on a vulnerable family again. As for these idiot YouTubers that fell for it, they deserve it. Discoveries, and she wanted in on it. Yep. They're the cyber bullies. Oh, she's getting hers vanished. Absolutely. Chief Executive Officer of One World, another loser from the Bull Crosby crap. Hold on. What is it? Andrew Wyatt? Andrew Wyatt. Is Andrew Wyatt aware of everything they're involved in? Andrew, I just think a lot of this is all going to unfold. Oh, it's Bill. I told you all. If you follow the trail from the Bill Cosby situation to who was all involved, in my opinion, it shows some bad actors. And all these people have a corruption together. Yeah, this guy. Pathetic. Probably wants to get in on the publicity using a missing child to sell his book.
Now joined by Cosby's publicist, Andrew Wyatt, for more on this. Andrew, you have been lobbying for...
What a dork. He looks like he would be involved. No, I'm serious. If you follow the line, hey, Mullins girl, I really do believe that it goes down to show that there was some local corruption. I do. And they were so involved in getting him off disgusting. Yep. And the fact that they were all tied in together back then, and now they're all tied in again today. Yeah. Yeah. I do believe that people need to follow that trail. So I saw people asking, I came across this the other day. Let me pull this up. People are asking what was going on because I know. God, I can't stand this person. Remove notifications. You're annoying. There we go. All right. If we go down here. First off, I'm shocked most of you put your toilet paper over. But some of you were asking what was going on with like this white boy saying he was in litigation with the Green Team. And I know a lot of you feel like it hasn't been very crystal clear. It really wasn't crystal clear to me either. I had an idea what it was. But I did see this video and it was a little interesting. Again, if anybody would like to come up, you are more than welcome to take the link. Come on there. Come on there. No, that's BS, Christine.
So, but there's always controversy all the time, right? I'm dealing with my own bit of controversy on YouTube. I guess it just comes with the territory, and depending on who you're dealing with, some people.
Yeah, I don't know how you guys rip the toilet paper when it's over. Like it rips off too easily. You can't really get it. I don't like it. Saw that Jennifer Coffin after. I think anyone else saw that. What are you talking about, straight talker? No, why over? It's so hard to rip it. It rips off too easily, and then you got to try to. No, right, Sin, under, absolutely. So this is the woman. I don't know what she is on the green team. I don't know who she is. Apparently she's, not a good actor, and she's going to give her side of it.
People will handle it in a classy way, and then other people will handle it in a not so classy way, right? We all know how to use our words.
You know what's fucking weird? Now listen, I don't know this lady. I don't know anything about her, but I will say, besides her eyebrows, the fact that she has Sebastian's missing flyer with this ghetto backdrop with 2 dragons is weird. Like, the fact that you people are parasocially involved to that extent is weird. It's weird. I don't know if it's a play on the audience's emotions, but it's weird. I seen it, Tracy. I disagree with it.
Words, but some people act a little bit out of sorts. But I did want to shout out to Bullhorn Betty, because she really showed up and showed out for me yesterday. So I crashed
yesterday. Bullhorn Betty set up and set out for me yesterday. Triangle on the ends finished. Yeah. I don't know, May. That's a really sad situation. I touched on it, but
out after court. I was really tired and just really exhausted. A lot of
you look exhausted, girl. What is this? I can't. I maybe I shouldn't be doing this because I don't know her to talk about her this way, but I'm already annoyed. I don't think there's anybody on the green team that is capable of entertaining any bit. Like, they're also like, it's very distracting. It's weird with these dragons, and everything is weird. Who, Bug? Until she is on your side. Oh, Betty. I had to change it to over because my pup. Yeah, Nelly does that. She made the fake. Yeah, she's the one that did the fake evidence against Chris and Katie. Okay. All right. Then we shouldn't feel bad. All right.
Who have been with me from the very beginning know my story pretty well.
Nobody's been with you from the beginning.
Every aspect of my story, but you all are aware that I do have PTSD. And
sorry to hear that.
The stalking has really amplified the PTSD, right? So
now listen, I'm not going to knock her for that, because that is true, right? If you have PTSD and sometimes other situations can trigger that. I don't know her story. As far as I know, nobody even really knew this girl or followed her until she overly inserted herself in Sebastian's case, becoming one of the proud, green team members that fake evidence against parents of a missing child. But, so I'm not going to knock the PTSD.
I didn't sleep at all. I woke up at like 5 o'clock on Sunday, prepared for the live show, did the live show, and then I stayed up and just kind of, if I get nervous, like.
Well, here's the thing. It has gone offline, right? So I get what you guys are saying. Like, if the trauma is too bad, get off. And I agree. I do that for my own mental health. But how do we know that, Perry? But it's not just the internet that's doing it. Because to be fair, White Boy has gone into the real world with this. So
clean or I do so, I just try to like expel that energy. I'll like exercise or do something, right? Just to
how about pluck those eyes, girl? Pluck.
Kind of help with that, right? Because it's stressful. And they, have been kind of like posting things. So I think I just needed to say.
Oh, so they are posting things. So it's about post. Then don't look. I don't know what else to say about that. You just don't look. But does she always talk like this? That's fair, Audie. I never watched her, so I don't know.
Thank you so much to Bullhorn Betty for showing up and showing out.
Why do you keep saying showing up and showing out? Like that, you sound stupid. Thank you for showing up and showing out. She showed up to court. How did she show out? Like that is weird. Stop.
The court date was continued because the White Boy's wife said that she did not have a lawyer. And so she needed time to get a lawyer. So I asked that the court date be rescheduled for the same day as him.
Okay, so if she asked for a continuance, then you didn't ask for a continuance. But so she's trying to get a protective order against white boy and his wife is what she's trying to do.
I do have an active restraining order.
What did you just burp? You all right? What was that?
I do have an active restraining order.
Oh, that was a mouth burp. You all right, girl? Hold on.
I do have an active restraining order.
Oh, that's stashing. Who is this lady anyway? I don't know. Well, GW knows about stuff. Yeah, because no, not really. Actually, I don't know a lot of stuff. I don't pay attention to a lot, but blessed be. Excuse yourself, lady.
Protection order of protection on White Boy Radio. So, hey, Holly S. And
so she's claiming that one was granted against White Boy. They usually do give a temp in the meantime, but we'll find out. I think she hit her hand on the desk. I know that was definitely a mouth burp. Listen again.
Restraining order.
No, that's a mouth burp.
I do have an active restraining.
You can see her struggling to keep it in. Look, that's so petty. Stop it. But you can see her struggle to kind of keep it down.
Protection order of protection on White Boy Radio. So, hey, Holly S. And welcome in, everybody. It's nice to see you. Happy Tuesday. Sorry, it's not Monday Night Raw. It's Tuesday Night Raw. But I just wanted to kind of give my own update because they kept posting things.
Why do all these people do this where they put this big-ass mic in their face, right? They always do this. Like, I don't know what that is. First off, the type of mic you have, you should have the front of it pointed at you. Most mics are made that way. Good morning, Oxalot. Yeah, say no more, Chai, right? It's so exciting. There's so much life here. It's very entertaining. These people know how to keep an audience awake, I'll tell you.
That were saying they were victorious, and I don't know how you would be victorious in a situation like this. It's actually really horrible.
Well, I'll ask you this, Lady Freedom. How do you feel your friends are victorious in what they're doing when they lost every step of the way, including protective orders? Yes, this is her. Hey, Marcy. Oh, I thought she's just another one trying to block half her face. I don't know.
And I was really lucky to have someone because, as a lot of you know, I just moved here from Missouri.
This is the thing that drives me nuts, right? Let me just be honest with you. This is what I can't stand. And Jay, I think you're with me on this. Why do we know that you have PTSD? Why do we know that you just moved from Missouri? Why do we know so many personal things about you? And then when people respond with these personal things, these people cry that they're a victim of people invading their personal lives. You are given way too many details of yourself. Why don't you go make more little blip images and pretend to do something productive instead of buying little fucking dragon TY babies to sit next to Sebastian's photo? A kid you never met is fucking weird. It's weird. These people are all weird. And my golly, those eyebrows are weird too. Do something about it. God, I hate to be mean, but holy shit, they make it come out of you.
The week of Thanksgiving in November. And
now we even know when you moved. So now we know you moved from Missouri to Florida the week of why do we know this shit? Sure,
the week of Thanksgiving in November. And I really love it in Florida. It was very peaceful. And
why is any of that necessary to know?
Nice, and it hasn't been.
I don't know what this
because
is
of the situation.
Listen,
but they were continuing to post things like.
Listen, I like tarot readers. I personally read tarot cards. I like them. What I don't like is people that mix tarot reading with true crime. I don't like that. I think it's ignorant, disrespectful. I know she's so charismatic. You guys are like, woo. But listen, don't fall for it, all right? She sells a good story.
Round one and stuff like that, and that they're not going to stop field trips, and that
this is giving me some type of weird feeling. Like it's almost like watching Wednesday, but she's like wearing all pink with the all dark. It's just bizarre. She calls Seth Rogers her hero. There goes my hero. He's ordinary. There goes my hero. He's ordinary. You're weird. That's what you like. You're weird. She's weird. Can we get a 1 in the chat if she's weird? Like you're literally putting like lyrics with Seth Rogers. There goes my hero. He's ordinary. Do you listen to that song and think of Seth Rogers? Holy fucking shit. Weird. Weird. Yoo-hoo.
Because of the situation.
Who the fuck has ever looked at Seth Rogers and thought, there goes my hero? Like, what are you doing? Are you okay? Holy shit. Weird. The only thing I agree with is he is very ordinary. That's what she said. There goes my hero. He's ordinary.
But they were continuing to post things like round one and stuff like that, and that
round
they're not
one
going to stop field trips, and that, and you know, they're saying these things in a plural fashion, like they've done it several times, and it's just
well, they have, and anybody who's watched them from the beginning, I mean, they have. Do I agree with what they did? No, I'll be honest. I don't agree with it. If somebody from the green team was doing that shit to me, I would feel the same way she feels. I'll give her that. I don't think anybody should be going around somebody's neighborhood, should be posting flyers, should be taking quote unquote road trips to where they live. Disagree with it. But I also disagree with people trying to frame parents in a missing child's case and going to the national news with fake evidence. I disagree with that too. Matter of fact, I think that should be interfering in an active investigation. I think she should have charges for that. Honest to God, I do. Why do you look like you're going to throw up? Ugh.
Terrible that I even have to deal with this.
It's terrible.
Let alone address it here.
You don't have to address it here.
You know, Betty's a wonderful person. I was very lucky to have met her and have her as a support, because like I said, it's not like I could just call one of my girlfriends, or
I have a feeling you don't have any girlfriend. I'm sorry. I have a feeling you don't. And I hate when people say that. Like, I hate that I have to address this here. You don't have to address shit. You're choosing to address it. Stop it. Stop it.
I have guy friends, a lot of guy friends, but
I bet you do. You look like the type to have a lot of guy friends. You know what I mean? Maybe it's Maybelline. Maybe it's a lack of tweezers.
Yeah, just call someone and be like, "Hey, do you mind coming with me?" You know, and just to stand with somebody,
just stand with
in
me.
that situation is just very empowering. And I felt bad because.
It's very empowering to have Bullhorn Betty stay next to you. If I was White Boy and his wife, I would say Betty was stalking me. Hell, why don't we all just take everybody? We'll all get protective orders. One for you, one for you, one for you. And a pair of tweezers too.
The other side didn't really have anybody there. So I'm
they had each other, you buffoon. What did you have? You had Betty, you weird shit. What do you think? Everybody's showing up for protective orders? Get a grip.
A very compassionate person and a loving person, and I don't ever want.
Insert the clips of Betty telling people she hopes they fucking die. How kids need to be euthanized like dogs. Yeah, very good person. Very compassionate.
To wish bad on anybody ever.
What?
Have anybody there? So I'm a very compassionate person and a loving person.
Oh, she's compassionate. She's so compassionate that she overlays shadows over the parents of a missing child and presented it like it was evidence of them killing him. You're so compassionate. You're about as compassionate as your eyebrows are on fleek. Okay?
And I don't ever want to wish bad on anybody ever.
Ever.
That's not.
Ever. I'm just going to say the mother of a missing child is responsible and call the other parent my hero.
Something that makes me feel good, and that's not how I was raised.
What? Girl,
so I just
wanted
to kind of put that out there and just let you guys know that
this is so
they didn't have a lawyer or anybody there, and so that's why they had to continue.
Duh, that's why they were asking for help getting a lawyer. So they had to continue. So she looks like Uncle Taco. She looks like what comes out after I ate a bunch of tacos. Sorry, that's mean.
The court date, and they luckily continued it for the same day and the same time, so that's good. That way it's not having to
Yeah.
go back and forth because it's
I thought you just said you have a protective order against him. So, like, why are you having another court date? So maybe he's not lying. Maybe it's called temporary.
it's not close to my house.
Oh no. So cute.
So
Yeah. Tell us, girl.
yeah, show poodles it
Uh-huh.
is. And I just want to say too, like, don't be mean to each other, guys, and don't
Yeah.
be mean to them either.
Don't be mean to them, guys. We just be mean to parents of missing kids. Don't be mean.
Like, because of this, I just wanted to let you guys know what was going on, because I don't think it's proper to have the lies all the time. And, you know, it's obvious that I don't have any warrants or anything like that. Like,
Is it obvious you don't have warrants? Is it obvious? It's obvious you don't have something, but it's not warrants.
saying. So it might just be a good time to stop all of it, you know, and that's the only intention that I have in my heart.
Why do they all have this, like, fucking baby voice against, like, with them? Have you guys ever noticed that? They all talk like they're so innocent and so stupid. Yeah, I just think it's tiny sorts of lies. Like, I just, you know, they all talk like that. Why?
Is for this to be over with and for me not to have to be in hypervigilant mode and
hypervigilant mode. How do you think the parents of Sebastian feel? Hypervigilant mode. Like, what?
But yeah, as I said, just somebody that's willing to stand with you and, you know.
Oh, so sweet.
Yeah.
Sisters for life. Maybe Sonia will make you a shirt.
Again, thank you, Bullhorn Buddy. You're an amazing person, amazing woman.
Oh, that's so cute.
I learned a lot just about advocacy and different.
Oh, girl, now shut the fuck up. You learned a lot about advocacy? Are you kidding?
Just a lot of different things. So even though I was dog-ass tired.
Even though you were what? Dog-ass tired?
So even though I was dog-ass tired.
What the fuck does that mean? Dog-ass tired? Or dog's ass is tired? What does that even mean? Are you okay? Even though I was dog-ass tired.
I'm so sorry for being dog-ass tired. But
you said it twice? I can see if you fucked up and said it once and was like, yeah, that didn't make much sense. But you say it twice? What the fuck is dog-ass tired? And how do we stop you from being dog? What? I don't even know what that means. Is your dog ass is tired? What does that even mean?
If I would have tried to lay down, I wouldn't have been able to sleep and I would have been grumpy. And so I figured, you know what?
That makes no sense. That makes no sense. It's opposite, sweet toots. If you weren't able to lay down and go to sleep, you would have been grumpy. So you stayed up and cracked out all night, and then you were dog ass tired? What? These people are weird. I don't know where they come from.
For the long haul tonight, woo, so that's what I did.
Oh yeah, you're full of enthusiasm.
But I was so glad to have had the show too, because it really kept me calm and grounded, and that's what you all do here, and so does the true crime genre as it is.
No, they don't acknowledge you. Shut up.
Some people go and watch. I mean, I watch funny videos too, but it's I also watch true crime in a weird way, in a calming way,
Oh, we can tell, bitch. You told us all we need to know about you. She finds true crime to be common, and then she's dog-ass tired. I mean, yeah, okay. All right. This says enough about you. Indecent exposure. I don't like her vibes. Again, I disagree with what White Boy allegedly did to her. I don't agree that anybody should be going to anybody's personal neighborhoods or houses, or if any of that's true, I disagree with it. I don't support it. I don't like it. I think online should remain online, but I think this lady's odd. I think that she asked to be seen, and when she was seen, she cried about being seen. These people always do that though, right? They overly involve themselves. They get to a point where they're impacting other people's real lives. And then when people acknowledge that and recognize that, they cry that they're victims. That's one thing they all have in common. All of them. I feel like true crime could be a trigger for PTSD, but that's just me. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. She's dog-ass tired. Maybe she enjoys it, Petty. Who knows? From BHB's butt licking. Is that where she got dog ass? She saw Betty and thought dog ass. You can't tell me that wasn't coincidental. Oh, dog ass. Not only that, you as well, Crafty Girl. Not only that, but these people do this, right? First off, filing for a protective order is free. You don't necessarily need legal representation, especially if you have proof of your claims. So, I don't know. Do I fault her for going for one? No. Would I likely go for one too? Yes. But she did. She should be charged with tampering with evidence and an ongoing investigation. She brought that national. They brought that to Nancy Grace. Do you know how damning that is? That should be a charge. They should all be charged. If anybody should be facing the litigation that I'm facing, it should be these people. Mental block, thank you. We will mentally block that out. Right, Shelly M? It's just crazy. Exactly. And anybody says one bad word about him, defamation. I'm suing you. That's right, Chucho. Anyway, today is a lovely day. I got a lot of things to do. We got an award ceremony coming up. I got my niece's graduation. The weather's beautiful. I got to go put my netting over my garden so that these critters don't eat it. Get myself ready for the shore. I'm going down for a couple weeks, going to stay down there. So we'll be doing campfire streams and all that fun shit. Taking you all to the beach, doing other things. I just wanted to update you all on where we are with the RICO, the alleged RICO, the non-existent RICO with the non-existent, now creative intelligence group, no longer a private intelligence group. I wonder how I'm being sued by a company that doesn't exist. That is the most baffling thing to me. I can't wait till this all ties up in a pretty bow and countersuits go out and all these people have to answer for the actual defamation, the actual harm they have caused, and possibly answer to higher ups about the harm they have caused. I believe that every dog's ass has his day, and these people are going to have their day. All of them. And remember, folks, you are only responsible for you. You're not responsible for anybody else. If these people can claim that, so can we. That's it. That's all. Now, let me see. She created that footage. She should be charged with it. Absolutely. Oh, I love the beach, too. I'm a beach gal through and through. Give me that sweet summertime. I hear people's streams are going down for covering the riots, but ICMIL has been killing it with the riots. I personally won't touch on things like that because, well, whatever. I can't stay in the comments. That's right, Lee the Bee. If you haven't, please consider hitting a thumbs up on your way out. And I will see you all next time. Have a good day. Be safe. Enjoy the weather. Get some fresh air. Plan a plan or two. And remember, there are more things than this YouTube fuckery that we are all and throw out in every day. And gummy bears cause a lot of weight gain. Bye.